It is 93.3 WMMR, and we are pleased to be joined backstage by Brent Smith and Zach Myers of Shinedown. The new album is Amaryllis, and good day to you both. Welcome.
What's going on, my man?
For having us.
It is so wonderful to have you on the MMRBQ. When last you were here, I don't think we had the full album at that point.
Not at the
We
time.
just had Bully. And I've got to start by asking you, I love album artwork, but when I look at this album cover, I see so many things. It's a circle, and it's got the flower of the amaryllis around it. It's got these hands, these arms, black and white arms and hands joined together. It's got anchors. It's got antlers. It's got seahorses in it. It's got so many different images inside it. Baseball bats.
Partridge in a pear tree.
Partridge in a pear tree, and a couple of others that I can't quite discern. Tell us about that.
The album cover was based off the mandala.
Okay.
And the thing is that we wanted to make sure that it sanctified not only unity, but that the band itself is a circle, and everything that's inside of it is very honest, and it's a family, you know. So the circle was very symbolic to us, and everything that's inside the particular circle that is on Amaryllis has to do with each individual song on the album.
Oh, cool.
And in the centerpiece is the SD logo, which is the keyhole to opening the door to the world. Yeah, I mean, the artwork took a long time to make sure that it was very specific, and that we wanted, we still have that mentality about going and buying the physical record and like looking at all these different things that you see. A lot of people talk about the fact that the more that they look at it, they'll always see something new inside of it.
I love listening and hearing a band grow, and I think that's really evident on this album in so many different songs. But a few of my favorites, I just want to run over a couple of them. The title track, Amaryllis, I love that. Tell us about that.
Amaryllis is it's a flower that grows in the desert, and the symbolism to not only the song but why we named the record that is because this flower grows at a time of the year where it's extremely hot. There's not really an explanation as to how it actually blooms because there's not really any vegetation around it. And that's the symbolism. It's like through adversity you rise above. No matter what obstacles or situations that the world will throw at you, you constantly show your true colors to the world and let your amaryllis bloom.
The second single is going to be Unity, which I also love. It's the fourth track on the record. Your thoughts on that?
Zach, tell them about Unity. Tell them what we wanted to do with that.
That's just a song for us that we're kind of, we believe in that there's no race. It's just there's only one race, and that's mankind, and that everybody should be one. We kind of share this beautifully screwed up earth together, and it's about just realizing the people around you, they're your brother and they're your sister, and they're we have to share this planet, and it's just about rising up and being a unit and being unified as one kind of whole group, and that's for us. That's kind of the beauty in music, is that music is universal, and it connects people, and it holds no bounds, and it holds no color and no race and no size and no age, and for us, that's a deep, seated thing with us.
Well, and musical experimentation, which is what you're doing. So I'm hearing strings on this album. I'm hearing, some orchestration. You've got the LA Children's Choir, who you thank, singing in the background on Bully, which is awesome.
Those kids were great.
Yeah.
They were. All of those kids were they were way more pro than we were. They came in, knew the song, knew the key and everything, and they knocked it out quick.
Well, speaking of piano, I'll Follow You opens with the piano, and that's got a great melody as well.
Yeah, I mean, I Follow You came from this piece of music that Eric was playing in soundcheck over and over and over again, and I think it was towards the end of the Anything and Everything tour that we did. One day I finally was like, "What is that?" And he was like, "Really? You're going to ask me this now? I've been playing it for 2 months." And it kind of came from that,
You sang to it, too, at a sound check. We used to kind of record sound checks and stuff just in case, and Eric had been playing this thing, honestly, since probably mid-2009, and by the end of the...
Also, it was longer than 2 months.
Wow.
So it was, by the end of the cycle, and then he just kind of walked up one day and sound check and started singing this melody to it, and our monitor engineer just happened to record it. And it's my favorite song on the record. That and Through the Ghost are my two
And
favorites.
what he said, our monitor engineer, his name's Chris Lightcap, who is very much a family member to the band and
a Philly native.
and
Oh, really?
Philly. Yep.
Cool.
And he got to give a lot of credit actually to Chris because I was like, he was always making sure that he was recording, at certain times, and he was recording that day.
That's cool.
So that's actually I don't think the song would have ever happened had he not done that.
Wow. I love Through the Ghost. I think it's one of my favorites on the album. It's the last song, and it's got this beautiful orchestration to it. Zach, you said it's your favorite, or one of yours?
That and I'll Follow You are my two favorites. It's always the piano, more ballady, haunting kind of songs that I like for some reason. I draw myself. Like Call Me on the last record was my favorite. Shed Some Light's my favorite on S&M. So
But
it's
you
those
did a
kind of
solo
songs.
tour a while back, and you pulled out some Shinedown songs, but they were B-sides, if that.
I can't sing like him. He's a way
Not
better
many
singer
can.
than me.
I can't sing like you.
I know, because you can sing in key. You can force yourself not to
You
sing.
sing in key. You have pitch and all that stuff.
Yeah. It just Shed Some Light and Breaking Inside were the only two I really did. And just because it was, it was fun to do, and we were taking a little break and writing, and those are two of my favorites. Just Shed Some Light is my favorite song that he's ever written. So.
You guys sang so beautifully and played so beautifully in the MM Archive session. We get requests not for your studio songs, but for the live session that you did for us a couple
Were we
months
on
ago.
that day? Were we
Did we
pretty
do
good
okay?
that day?
Yeah.
Was I in tune?
Yeah,
My
you
guitar?
got- everything was in tune.
Did
You
we
sounded
pass
great.
the audition?
I
Yeah.
say you passed the
We're
audition.
gonna get signed one of these days, I think.
I mean, eventually, man, it's going to happen.
That was
Zach, I was reading something kind of funny. When asked who you'd like to open for you, you said, I'd like to have you two open for us.
I think I said I would like to open for you too.
The
I
way
think that
I
might
read
have been
it-
a mistype.
Sounded like
That
a little
that
rock
had to
star
have been
statement.
a typo.
That was a typo, I believe.
Now, you guys are getting to open, I understand, this summer for the one show that Black Sabbath is doing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Where is that?
That is in Donington Park in the UK. So Download Festival.
That's so cool. You got to be excited for that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
we're trying to send as many healthy and positive vibes as we can to Mr. Iommi and his family. But that's the only show they're gonna do. So it's I'm still kind of over the moon
Yeah.
that we're actually getting an opportunity to do that because it's history.
In their home country too.
Not only are you on hallowed ground with that festival, but just the fact that we're even able to be any small part of that day,
Yeah.
is it's a milestone for us.
On each album, I think every album I've looked at, you've thanked the founding member of Atlantic Records, the late, great Ahmet Ertegun.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a cool thing that you pay tribute to a guy who was so instrumental. And for fans who don't know, I mean, he goes back to the soul days of Atlantic, signed Ray Charles. The list is endless. Books have been written about him. Did you actually get to meet him and ever listen to any of his stories? Because I've interviewed him once or twice, but I never got a time to hear as many stories as I suspect he had.
I did get a chance to meet him a couple of times, actually. The very first time I met him, I sang for him in his office.
You sang for him in his office?
I did. And sang 2 songs. After the first song, he looked at me and he was like, well, you don't need a microphone. So, yeah, I did get a chance to meet him, and he was, I get emotional thinking about it because he was responsible for finding such amazing people, and the way that he did it was he was just himself.
Beautiful. That's really amazing. Brent, you've recently campaigned for fans to stand up more passionately for rock and roll music. What form do you think that should take?
I think that, supporting, whether it be a band or whether it be a certain artist or what have you, is going to shows, especially this summer. The market is, there's a lot of tours going out this summer. And I think that one way of, really, really supporting the bands and the artists is, come out and watch us this summer and watch us play. I mean, at the end of the day, myself and Zach and Eric and Barry, we're very influenced by a lot of different artists and a lot of different musicians. But, at the end of the day, even being as eclectic as we are, and I know a lot of people are eclectic when it comes to music, is that it's never going to stray too far away from drums, bass, guitar, badass vocals and a killer song. And, rock and roll is not a genre of music. It's really a way of life. You have to think about, how many times has rock and roll been there for you when you've been down?
Well,
you know?
it crosses all boundaries. Last night on Saturday Night Live, the Foo Fighters backed up Mick Jagger on a Rolling Stone song. It knows no boundaries. It's so powerful.
It is
I'm going
very
on
much.
YouTube right now to look that up. As
I
well.
mean, it's stuff like that that just moves me endlessly, and brings all different kinds of styles of music together constantly. And I love your point, because get out and see music, because to me it's a three-dimensional experience.
It
when you
is.
go to see, you listen to a record or CD, whatever. If you go to see that band, then you see, can they do that live?
Right.
And where can they take it? Where can that song go live that it maybe couldn't go on its studio version?
The other, aspect of rock and roll is that there are so many unbelievably wonderful memories made from concert events and what we bring to the table. Like today, we're on such a wonderful bill, and a lot of these artists that are here today we're very big fans of, but going to see a true rock and roll show is something, whether or not you're a young child, or you're a teenager, or you're just in your 20s, or you're in your 30s, and I'm so on and so on and so on. The thing is like what Zach said, it's just being unified together and just having a brilliant, wonderful time. And
It's a communal thing.
it is very, very much, and it's about letting go. You have your own world in your life that you live day to day, but when you come and see a show, like today, for example, let us do the work.
Yeah.
We're here to take care of you, because at the end of the day, we only have one boss, and it's everybody in the audience, and they're the whole reason that all of these bands and all these performers are here today. So, come out and see the shows and let us do the work.
I love that.
I mean, for me, too, to add on to what he said, for the greatest moments I can remember from my childhood were shows. And I had a great childhood, but it's just those things, and that's why I think we as a band are still such big fans of the physical record.
Yeah, me
we
too.
campaign for that still, because something about holding that in your hand, that
And the
was a big part of
sequencing,
us.
one song into another, and after you listen to it a while, you expect that song goes into that song, and that song goes into that song.
And we make records. We don't
Right.
make singles. We
Right.
make records. We want you to put in the record and not skip a song. We want you to start at the beginning, because it's a picture of where we were at the time that we wrote the record, and
Love
that's
that.
And it's
that's who
time
this band-
consuming.
yeah, it is.
And
you
we know that, and we appreciate that. That's why it takes us a while to
long
make the
time to
records.
make records.
One final thing you got to get going. On the back cover of the CD and the inner sleeve is a great saying: "Don't be delicate, be vast and brilliant."
Absolutely, 100%. It just means don't settle. Whatever you want for not only your own personal life, but as you go through the day and you're given the gift of being alive, because you're not promised tomorrow. Take in every single moment that you can, and really put yourself out there and live your life to the fullest.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being part of the MMRBQ. Shinedown will be on right before Godsmack. It's going to be a great afternoon of music. And Zach, you got to get out and catch Steel Panther, because they're about to come on.
I think I have to go hang upside down on the teeter hang-ups first. But we'll see what happens.
Brent and Zach from Shinedown, thank you for
Thank
being
you so
part
Yeah,
of the
thanks so
MMRBQ.
much, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Great to see you.